Hey guys, Trey Vittetoe here, and welcome to part 3 of my series about being broke and breaking into the music business. So today I'm going to talk about what kind of space you need to set up your studio, and ultimately I want to talk about how you can start getting your music out there and making money for you, and also if you're an artist, how to start setting up a fan base for yourself. So stay with me and check it out. So today I'm going to start by talking about recording space, where you need to set up your small studio. Recently somebody asked me a question about how they could afford to rent a space to set their studio up when they were already just barely getting by. I had to ask them, why do you need to rent a space? So when I was first married, I just set up my studio in a spare bedroom. Some of my friends were setting their studios up just in their living rooms. I would run cables into the bathroom where I could track vocals or mic up amplifiers. Was it ideal? No, but it worked and I made a lot of records there. When we moved into a house that took over half the garage, I spent maybe $2,000 building it out and buying some acoustic foam to deaden the space. And I'm still using that same space today. I had no idea what I was doing when I started building out a studio in my garage. I needed to build a wall in the middle so I could have the other half of my garage for storage. I didn't know how to build a wall, so I went online and searched, how do you build a wall? Now my space isn't big, but people love coming here and writing and recording. And this little space is where I've had all of my real success. So it's true that if you're in an apartment or a dorm, you're probably going to need to do a lot of your work on headphones. You'll need to plan out time to record vocals and other instruments. But most of my time as a pop producer is done working on programming synths and drums and mixing. So a lot of that can be done on headphones anyway. Using your living room or your bedroom for a studio is completely doable. Just remember, if your room is kind of noisy or echoey, throw up some blankets, throw up some foam. Back in the day, people would literally put egg cartons on their walls. It doesn't look very nice, but it breaks up sound and it gets rid of reflections. Don't feel like you're restricted from starting a music career or setting up a studio if all you've got is your bedroom or your apartment. So the last thing I want to talk about in this series is how to get your music out there once you've created it. How to find opportunities to sell your music. Or if you're an artist, how to build a fan base. Some of these things I've addressed in other videos, so check them out on the screen somewhere here as well. So if you haven't already figured it out, the music business is in chaos. It has been for almost 20 years. In the early 2000s, music piracy and a flagging economy decimated the industry. Before that, there was a lot of money flowing in the music industry. Record labels were signing artists, music sales were great, but during the dot-com days, when music became compressible in formats such as MP3s and downloadable from computers, people just started grabbing music for free. Online companies sprang up that facilitated music piracy, and music sales hit the wall. There was a huge debate about it in which people thought that in taking music for free, they were just skimming a small part off the top of a huge economic pie. And since everyone in the music industry was raking in millions, stealing a little music for personal use wasn't any big deal. It wasn't hurting anyone. But that rationale, along with an economy that took a dive after 9/11, left the music industry in tatters. I was a part of it. I saw it. Almost overnight, companies went belly up. Every few days you'd be sitting in your office and someone would come in tears and say they had just been let go. You would arrive at work in the morning to learn that an entire department was dissolved. Sometimes whole offices were shut down. Christmas was the worst time. That's when entire companies would close. It was dismal, and it went on for years. Really, it's still going on, but things have stabilized somewhat over the years. But what does all that have to do with you getting your music out there and making money from it? Well, as it turns out, the same thing that pulled the carpet out from under this bloated, ego-driven industry back then has today put the business back into the hands of the music creators. So while it's true that the business was thriving back in 1997, if you were a songwriter or producer or artist, you had to tie yourself to a record label or to a music publisher to get your career moving. You would have been beholden to any number of music business types: A&R people, publishers, managers, attorneys. anybody that could help jumpstart your career. And all of those are still incredibly necessary. But today, starting out, you have many avenues to build your own career by having direct access to those people who need music. Fans, advertisers, TV and film supervisors. Through various online music services, you can submit your music directly to the opportunities. In other videos, I've mentioned a few sites that I've used or my friends have used, like Music X-Ray, Song Trader, Taxi. These are sites that you can pitch your songs to for licensing opportunities or for independent artists or to labels for signed artists. And what about if you're an artist that's trying to build a fan base? You no longer need a record label to sign you, to promote you, to set up tours, media events. 12-year-old kids are building huge fan bases on sites like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, to the point where they can start going out on tour with companies like Digitour. There are 15-year-old independent artists that can sell out 700 seaters anywhere in the world and bring home $20,000 worth of merchandise, not a dime of which goes to a record label. They built it all themselves. And then, when their careers reach a point where they can truly benefit from a relationship with a record company or a music publisher, the business is coming to them. And when they sign their contracts, it will be a mutually advantageous arrangement, one where they have the power to negotiate a reasonably fair deal for themselves. And why? Because they've eliminated risk for the company that now just wants to partner with the artist and take them to the next level. And maybe that sounds a little oversimplified, but truly that's the current model, and things can go essentially as I've described. Case in point is an artist named Johnny Orlando. Check out his story, and you'll get an idea of how this thing can work in the new millennium. Alright, so while I've thrown in a few details that hopefully you can use to get started in the business, what I really hope you take from this is that it doesn't take a lot of money and it doesn't take knowing all the right people to get started in the music business. What it takes is what it should take: talent, passion, determination, persistence. You need to be able to collaborate with others and create a product that resonates with an audience. Then you need to get it out there, keep pushing, evolving, never giving up. Amazingly, it's the same formula for success that always has been and always will be. Alright, so you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it answers some of the questions that I've been getting. And if you did like it, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below. Please check out my other videos. Until next time.